Welcome to the Transportation Sales Tax Program. I'm Cheryl Harleston. Today we're going to be talking about a bicycle lane that's going to be added to the Legree Bridge coming from West Ashley all the way to the area where most of the hospitals in our community are located. It's going to be a terrific opportunity for bicyclists coming from West Ashley and going into the hospital district, as I'm calling it. We're going to talk with the project manager of this particular project in just a moment. So please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey, Charleston County, let's recycle. Charleston County makes it easy. Recycling glass, aluminum cans, steel and aerosol cans, plastics 1 to 7. We recycle them all. And don't forget paper. If it tears, recycle it. Even cardboard. Recycle at work, at home, and at play. So whether you're using the 2 curbside bin system and separating or the all-in-one roll cart system, keep recycling. Brought to you by Charleston County Environmental Management.
Welcome back to the Transportation Sales Tax Program. Again, I'm Cheryl Harleston. We're going to be talking about a portion of the Legree Bridge that's right in West Ashley going into the city. And many of you are familiar with this bridge and have crossed it a lot of times. Well, a portion of it is being planned for a bicycle route or a place where bicyclists can go from one side of the city to the other. And I have with me today Stephanie Hunt, and she is Board of Directors Chair for Charleston Moves. Thank you so much for coming out in this heat to talk about this subject.
The heat and the traffic, glad to be here, Cheryl. Thank you very much.
I said earlier in my introduction that when, where, all those kinds of things, but I want our audience that's watching and listening to us to know that we're going to be talking with an engineer who is also a part of this project. But for now, we're going to talk about why. Stephanie, why was this important to your organization?
Well, it's important to Charleston Moves, which is a nonprofit advocacy organization that promotes bicycle and pedestrian accessibility throughout the Charleston region. It's important to our organization, but it's important to the broader community and the growth of Charleston. Right now, there is no safe way to get from Earth Fair to MUSC, or if you live in South Windermere or live further out West Ashley or even James Island, there's no safe way to get there to anywhere downtown or even East Cooper unless you're in a car.
And that's for bicyclists. There's no safe way. But the cars,
bicyclists or walkers, right? Unless you're in an automotive vehicle, this traffic that we see here, there's really no safe way. There's the 2 bridges, as we know, the southbound and the northbound. There is a sidewalk on the southbound that's a little wider, that currently, as I was coming over here today, I passed a bicyclist who was riding against the traffic on that very narrow sidewalk with a very steep drop into traffic. It's a very dangerous situation.
Would you say that Charleston is a bicycle town? I mean, they meaning the government, seems to be sensitive to the needs of bicyclists.
I think across America and certainly across cities internationally, the trend is certainly going toward more bicycle commuting, bicycle recreational riding. You see it all around. We are a city that's Charleston, downtown Charleston, certainly with the College of Charleston, with MUSC. There are a lot of students who are on bicycles. There are a lot of people in this day and age who simply don't want to pay $3.40 for a gallon of gas, or $3.30, whatever it will be by the end of the summer. For either economic reasons, for environmental reasons, or for health reasons. They want to be able to not have to get in the car if they're going less than a mile to either work, to shop, to school, to play.
If
farmers market,
if bicyclists are willing to use this side of the bridge, we've got to keep in mind there's another side of the bridge. And my question to you is that how they would get back to their homes or wherever they have come from, and are you concerned about that side of the bridge?
No, because it will function much like the Ravenel Bridge, the bicycle and pedestrian lane over there, which is only on one side of the bridge, as you know, but it accommodates both-way traffic. So this lane will be converted and for bicycles and pedestrians, so runners, walkers, people pushing their children in their, in their stroller. We anticipate that it will get probably more use actually than the Ravenel Bridge, because there's a very dense population over here. Immediately on the other side of the bridge, the Horizon Project is about to launch. a priority of the city of Charleston. Huge development on the currently undeveloped land that will be a mixed-use community supported by MUSC and Roper and the other industries over here. And that will, there's just a huge number of people that will use this very short span, a beautiful span.
It is beautiful. It really is. I bet that you would agree with me when I say that this change, the change in this bridge, is worthy of the transportation sales tax money.
Absolutely.
Did you know that when you voted for it?
I had hopes for that when I voted for it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really? And so it's come true.
It's come true. This is something that Charleston Moves and other people in the community, including the mayor, have been advocating for more than.
Well, you told me almost 20 years. Has it been that long? And why so long?
Well, it's so long because it's a tricky thing, and it's actually not a perfect solution. Yes, there's going to be some traffic implications, but not detrimental. And certainly the benefits, we believe strongly, over the long run will far outweigh, a few seconds of slower traffic if you're driving, if in fact that's even what will happen.
Well, we thank you for giving us that information, and I'm glad that Charleston Moves is satisfied with the use of transportation sales tax for this purpose. The community, as I said before, seems to be in favor of working with bicyclists, and this is another good way to do that. We're going to talk with an engineer. We want to find out about how it's going to be done and when it's going to be done and all those good things. So I'm just going to say to the audience, we'll be right back in a moment and find out exactly when all this is going to take place and what's involved in the construction of such a project. We'll be right back.
Hey, Charleston County, let's recycle. Charleston County makes it easy. Recycling glass, aluminum cans, steel and aerosol cans, plastics 1 to 7. We recycle them all. And don't forget paper. If it tears, recycle it. Even cardboard. Recycle at work, at home, and at play. So whether you're using the 2 curbside bin system and separating, or the all-in-one roll cart system, keep recycling. Brought to you by Charleston County Environmental Management.
Welcome back to our program. As mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about a bicycle lane that's going to be added to the LeGree Bridge. And I want you to meet the project manager who's going to be responsible for the construction of that area on the bridge. Richard, welcome. It's nice having Richard Turner here with us. He is project manager for this project as well as a number of others, but you'll work on one at a time, I assume. Now, this bridge, the LeGree Bridge, and I think it's the T. Allen LeGree Bridge for those who have been around Charleston for a long time. Why are you making a bicycle lane? That seems like such a busy bridge.
Well, the project originated back in around 2006, 2007. It was a request from the city of Charleston for us to establish a bike and pedestrian, or a safe bike and pedestrian travel way across the Ashley River. So we've looked at several different alternatives. We did a feasibility study in 2007, 2008, and the LeGree Bridge was found to be feasible to allow that to happen. So, and I think the main focus is some of the neighborhoods, maybe Burnstown, the Avondale, Windermere. Those locations are starting to bring in a lot of young professionals that would live in that area and worked in the hospital district, and this would provide them an alternative way to get downtown.
I'm thinking that because it's I was there yesterday. We went down to visit the site, and I can see where folks coming from West Ashley can go over that bridge, and they're pretty much at work. Plus, they can make a turn, and they're at Brittlebank Park, and there are other places there where people work. So that worked out nicely, don't you think?
That's correct. Well, one other thing to note is there's the East Coast Greenway, which runs right through this corridor, and that's 2,700 mile roadway, or path, if you will. That it's not all really a path, but it's a trail, a set of trails, paths, bike lanes, different types of infrastructure that allow you to get basically from Maine to Florida. And
that's awesome. Is that going on now, or is it just something that's being discussed?
That's already established. It's marked today. The West Ashley Greenway is part of that, and it is currently marked as part of the East Coast Greenway.
So we're sort of supporting the East Coast Greenway by providing the lanes that we're doing as well.
That is correct, and not only that, but we're also working diligently now with the Battery to Beach route. We're trying to establish that route, and which would be from Isle of Palms all the way through the peninsula around the Battery to Folly Beach. So it really is a very important leg for both of those trailways.
You worked on the design and you worked on having to put all of this together. Did it seem to you that there were a large number of bicyclists who would be coming from these neighborhoods? I know that you said there are a lot of neighborhoods on the west side, and there would be, I assume, a lot of persons who use their bicycles to get to work. These healthy people. You were satisfied that this would get a lot of use?
We feel like it will. We've certainly, like I said, the request was made by the city, and the Charleston Moves and some of the other advocacy groups for bike and pedestrian movement in Charleston is really behind this, and we feel like it's a worthwhile project. Therefore, we're moving forward with.
Well, when do you plan to start? Do you know, and finish?
Well, we're in preliminary design now, and we got a big step ahead of us that we're going to be meeting. We're sitting down with the DOT very soon to really go over some of the major design elements. Once we get a good buy-in from them, we'll go into final design. But the ultimate goal, is to have bikes and pedestrians on this path between 12 and 18 months from now.
Now, what is the speed limit on?
It's currently 35 miles per hour.
And so those bicycles wouldn't get in the way, or is there going to be some sort of barrier, or how are we going to protect bicycles versus cars or automobiles?
Well, the path would originate on Albemarle Road, tying to the West Ashland Greenway. It would continue along Albemarle Road, and then there's a new development being planned at the old Turkey's Towing Gold's Gym site that we're working with the city on to develop that section of the leg. We're not sure exactly the design of it, but nonetheless, we'll work around that new development into an area that the city has purchased or in the process of purchasing around the Fielding Connector Bridge that goes next to the old Turkey's Towing site. From there, it'll continue along the shoulder of Highway 17, and then we will transition over into the far right lane, and that's when we'll have a separation by either concrete barrier or a steel guardrail that'll get us all the way across the bridge.
Now, are we talking about, you said a concrete barrier, so would it be so many feet off the ground, or 3 or 4 feet, or?
We're making this section of it. Well, let me back up. It'll be a combination of two different things is what we're proposing today. The first section will be a concrete barrier, which you see a lot of times in construction sites, a temporary construction barrier that are readily available throughout South Carolina that we can put in there easily. And then connected to that will be a steel guardrail, which is a little bit thinner, so it gives us a little more width to work with as we go across the actual structure, bridge structure. We need as much width going across that as we can, so we're looking at a little bit thinner. But it's a steel guardrail, which will allow us a crash barrier that'll separate the two traffic.
I know that you're familiar with these types of road lanes and have seen them operate before. What's been the experience that you've had from other people that tell you how well these things work or don't work?
Speaking of the barriers?
The bicycle lanes.
Bicycle lanes? Well, I mean, I think the prime example in Charleston is going to be the Ravenel Bridge. I mean, it's a widely popular trail that it's used daily. I mean, you can't go across the bridge without seeing multiple people on it. So the hope is we'll have the same type of use on this section as we do on the Ravenel.
I noticed that there's a raised walkway on both sides of that bridge. So will we have walkers and riders and cars?
Well, what we have on the LeGree Bridge is really just a 2-foot curb. It's not really. It's more of a maintenance. It allows a walker to get across or really allows a pedestrian to get across, but it's a very narrow. It's only 2 feet wide. Typical sidewalks are 5 feet wide today. So what we're looking at, we'll maintain that 2-foot curb as it is today, but we'll have an 8-foot wide multi-use path that'll go across the bridge, and that'll allow both bikes and pedestrians in both directions.
Boy, that's going to be really interesting. And Charleston is known for its bicycle paths. As a matter of fact, it seems to be a bicycle community. and they're everywhere or all over the place. And as a matter of fact, lots and lots of young people are apparently going to work and to play by way of bicycles. So this is something that's going to be very useful in the community. When we come back in just a moment, I want to talk further with Richard about this project and, of course, about how it got started, and we'll probably reiterate that as well. But I'm also going to be interested in talking to him about the number of people that he thinks will utilize this, not the exact number, but the utilization. Has he heard anything from an organization like Charleston Moves, as an example? We've talked to them, and I'm wondering what they are saying, and we'll give that information to you in just a moment.
Hey, Charleston County, let's recycle. Charleston County makes it easy. Recycling glass, aluminum cans, steel and aerosol cans, plastics 1 to 7. We recycle them all. And don't forget paper. If it tears, recycle it. Even cardboard. Recycle at work, at home, and at play. So whether you're using the 2 curbside bin system and separating, or the all-in-one roll cart system, keep recycling. Brought to you by Charleston County Environmental Management.
Welcome back to the Transportation Sales Tax Program, also known as RoadWise. I'm Cheryl Harleston, and I'm talking with Richard Turner, and he is project manager for a wonderful project that's going to occur on the T. Allen Legree Bridge, coming from West Ashley into the hospital district, as I call it. And bicyclists will be able to use that. You know, Charleston seems to be pretty friendly towards its bicyclists, so here we go again, another opportunity. As a matter of fact, Richard, I talked with a representative from the Moves organization, and I believe she is chairman of the board, Stephanie Hunt, and she was telling me, in fact, this is something that bicyclists are going to really enjoy, and not only that, but they may need it because they're trying to get to their jobs. And young people, bicyclist types, want to have this kind of opportunity. So it's good stuff that you're doing. And to have a group like Moves to agree with you must feel good.
Yeah, yes, it does. I mean, to have a group like Charleston Moves on our side, I mean, they're advocacy group for bike and pedestrian movement, healthy lifestyle in the Charleston area. So it's, you know, to have them have their support as the project moves forward, it is an important part of it.
I want us to take a look at the map now to show us exactly how that lane is going to be built in. There's some twists and turns when you come past the Holiday Inn, I think, over in that area. But once you get out on that 4-lane bridge, there are a couple of things I want to talk to you about. So show us the route that this bicycle path or lane will take.
Well, you start off, we'll come off the West Ashley Greenway on Albemarle Road. We'll tie in there. We'll move a path along the shoulder of Albemarle Road till it gets to what used to be the Gold's Gym property and the Turkey's Towing property. And we're proposing right now, with the help of the City of Charleston and a new development in that area, we're looking at a path that will wrap around the back side of that property and then tie into US 17 at the Fielding Connector Bridge. From there, we'll move along the shoulder of Highway 17 toward the bridge. Once we get right near the Round Holiday Inn, we'll start a transition over into that far right lane where we'll begin to occupy that right lane. We'll have a transition, and right there we'll have a barrier wall that'll separate us between the automobile traffic and the bikes and pedestrians. We'll stay within that lane in the full width of that one right-hand lane all the way across the bridge until we get to near the Lockwood intersection, or just on the other side of the bridge. Then we'll begin to transition over back onto the shoulder of that exit ramp, and then we'll tie back down at Lockwood B Street exit ramp intersection. And
all of this is being done with transportation sales tax dollars, and so it seems like a very worthwhile project. At least I think so, and I know the bicyclists will think so as well. I was also thinking about the fact that many people who use bicycles riding to town and the like, they are folks who understand how to mix with the traffic. How well will the public be apprised of the fact that now we have bicycles going down the same path that you usually use as a car or an automobile or a truck? that you're going to share this bridge?
Well, I think we'll have a mixed bag there. We'll certainly have our proponents of the project that'll be from the bike and pedestrian community, and we hope we'll get a lot of citizen support for that. And with the type of path that we're proposing, we hope to really bring in not only the professional bikers that are out there on the road, regardless. We hope to bring in the moms and dads and the kids and to be able to cross this bridge because it'll be a safer crossing with the barriers there.
I know I'm not going to say this right, so I'm not even going to try. The type of bridge, and I studied that in 7th grade, for crying out loud, but the kind of bridge that opens up so that boats can go through. Give me the real name for that.
Well, it's a drawbridge.
It's a drawbridge. That's exactly what it is. Will that still be in place?
Yes, that will be in place. We will be attaching things to that. The drawbridge, or the bascule span, is what is the technical term for that part that raises up and down. But that part of the bridge will have an attachment that'll be a barrier there that'll still separate the two modes of travel.
How far back will these bicyclists and automobiles and the like, how far back do they stop before that bridge opens up? I'm just wondering about the ability to stop in time to miss all of that.
What we're proposing today, and like I said, it is a preliminary design, but what we're proposing would allow the existing gate or arm that comes down to stop vehicular traffic today will still be in place, and it'll be able to stop bikes and pedestrians at the exact same location.
Okay, and that's pretty far back.
Yes, that is.
I remember seeing plans a number of years ago, because I've sort of been around a while myself here, but I remember seeing some plans at one time, and it seemed like these bicycle lanes were going to be on each side of the bridge and not a part of the bridge, but that there would be additions to that bridge, a lane addition, I should say. What happened to that idea?
Well, when we initially started this process, like I said, in 06, 07, when it originated, with our feasibility study looked at that, and it looked at the best way, or one of the ways to get across the bridge, and that would be a cantilevered section that would be added to the side of the bridge, which is a great idea. If two things: one, the issue we ran into was the amount of money it would take to get that constructed, and two is once we got to the drawbridge or the bascule span of the bridge, we ran into some complications with what upgrades would have to be done to that bridge to make it have the ability to withstand that additional weight on the side. So that complicated matters and significantly made the price rise to a point that it became infeasible.
You know, and I know some of our audience is thinking about this, but Charleston County, South Carolina, every kind of city, South Carolina, and all over the country, there are roads and bridges that are in trouble. And I'm just wondering about this particular bridge, the Legree Bridge, and I would assume that it's not in too much trouble, that it works well, and therefore we can safely put or cause for a lane for bicyclists.
Well, before we put one bit of the construction on the road, we will be doing a structural analysis of the bridge, which we completed a study of the bridge, of that bascule span of the bridge today. We've had that completed, and we feel that we can add this to the bridge without harming that bridge, or we feel like it'll withstand it. We've got some work to do to make everything work, but we feel very comfortable where we are with the structural analysis that we've done today.
Do you know the weight of that bridge? I was just wondering, there's so many automobiles that go across, especially during the early part of the day and the latter part of the day, and then we have bicycles. When the bicyclists go across the bridge using that lane, how do they get back home? What's the route for them to go back to West Ashley?
The path is going to be an 8-foot multi-use path, similar to what's on the Ravenel Bridge. So you'll be able to go in both directions on this path.
So you can go and come on the same
path.
So you won't be on the other bridge,
no, ma'am,
which is across from it. So there will be no disturbance on that side.
No, ma'am.
And just construction on this side.
Right. On the southbound side, there'll be no change. It's just the northbound side that we're proposing the changes to.
And I understand also that at times we've had to close down lanes because they weren't utilized anymore. So we're not wasting space here. We're not wasting lanes. And I think the example you gave to me was Sproul Avenue or somewhere in there. And what causes that? What makes a decision like that? And I'm sort of moving away from what we were talking before, but I was curious.
Right. Well, Sproul Avenue is a little bit different. There is no bridge per se. We don't have a river to cross in that case. But what we did was the road came up for resurfacing. It needed to be resurfaced. So we looked at it and said, okay, this road has a lot less traffic than it ever has when it was originally put together years ago. And the Navy base was going strong at the time, and it required a 5-lane section. So we looked at that and said, okay, what can we do to get bikes on here? So
Yeah.
we did a traffic study of the corridor, and we found that yes, we can reduce the number of lanes to 3, add bike lanes. So we provided another leg of the connection between the city of Charleston and the city of North Charleston.
That sounds awesome. What's your next job, your next project that you're going to undertake?
I don't know. A new door opens every day.
They're coming all the time, are they?
That's right.
But this is one that you're going to start again, the bicycle lane on Legree?
The Ashland River Bridge, the Legree Bridge.
Yeah.
That's our goal is to have bikes, pedestrians on the bridge between 12 to 18 months from now.
And so therefore you'll be finished sometime around there as well, early next year, maybe mid part of
No,
next
we're
year?
like 12 to 18 months from today, so we're looking the end of 14
Oh, okay. So it'll
at
be a
the
little while.
latest. Is what our goal is, to be done by the end of 2014.
Well, I bet the bicyclists are very happy with that, and I know the community will understand that this is something that's important to travel in our community. We're constantly changing here in Charleston County, and we have to abide by what our citizens need, and we try to do that with your transportation sales tax dollar. Hope that you've enjoyed our program. Richard Turner, and he is project manager for the T. Allen Legree Bridge. So look for some action on that bridge. Look for some reconstruction. It's going to be interesting, and bicyclists enjoy. We'll talk about something else the next time that we come that we think will be of interest to you, as it has to do with the sales tax program. We want you to know that we are spending those dollars in just the way you expect. Until next time, I'm Cheryl Harleston. We'll see you then.